Hope everybody is doing good tonight, or today, or whenever you might be watching. Uh, got some leather and lumber. I've got this weird thing to talk about, and this weird thing. I'm not going to talk about him. And I got a weird thing growing on my foot, and I don't want to talk about that either. We're going to talk about this because it's fun. Got Miracle Mile, one of the, well, I guess weird is the word of the day. It's a weird movie from the 80s, I think 87 or 88. Takes place in Los Angeles, and it says there, 70 minutes to the end of the world where you can hide. I think it actually takes place over the action. Once the action begins, it's like 27 minutes in real time. Anthony Edwards' character is at a diner at like 4 in the morning, and somebody calls his wrong number and says there's a nuclear bomb coming. I think he's looking for a guy Chip or something, his kid Chip. And the diner goes into panic, and I think Denise Crosby, Tasha Yar from Star Trek Next Generation, is like a businesswoman, and she confirms it, and it's like this chaos over 27 minutes of him trying to find this girl that he met and fell in love with, and you don't know if it's real or not. If the chaos that he's causing is panic, it's just people in panic mode, and then at the end, you find out. It's a really good movie. The guy who directed it, Stephen D. Jarnett, he directed Cherry 2000 with Melanie Griffith, and I can't remember the guy's name in it, and it's kind of, it's futuristic where this guy's looking for like the perfect, I'm not going to get into it too much because it gets a little adult, I guess. I don't know. He's looking for a robot that can essentially a perfect mate. And it's a crazy, crazy movie. And if you want either, let me know, and you can download it from me. I'll upload it to my Google Drive. Hopefully there's nothing too bad in the movie where I have to take the camera off. But I got this a while ago. The Garamycin collection of ancient surgical instruments, and I was going to take it down because it needs to be cleaned. The felt picks up everything. And the guy who owned this, I think he was in his 80s when he died. He was a dentist, and he had this hanging in his office for years. I think it's from the 60s, could be the 50s. How would you like to walk in your dentist's office to see this thing? So they're replicas. I had seen some people trying to sell this online as these are real, as they were authentic devices. They are not. And I don't know, they're kind of cool. So you have the knife used for removal of tumors, kind of like, just a basic cast knife. Forceps, Arabic forceps, but this is kind of cool. I don't know what the best way to see it with this camera is. Babylonian bronze scalpel. This was, when I looked it up, I was reading about Babylonian medicine, and it was mostly garbage, right? Obviously ancient medicine, and it was relied on spells and incantations and superstitions and poetry. But there were some other things that were interesting, like they thought the liver was how we think of the heart. And a lot of Native Americans had that same belief. And you see these people, like, you see them, and here we go. Thank you. And thank you. You see people, I've seen them, I know some people that have tried to pawn off certain rocks, artifacts. It's called, oh my God, heart rocks. Because they're rocks that are shaped like a heart. But Native American, and they're implying that Native Americans had these heart rocks, that they kept them and used them somehow, or they were whatever. They didn't, because they didn't think of the heart the same way we did. They thought of the liver as we think of the heart. But like, I pulled this up. I printed this out because there's a kind of the Hippocratic Oath in Babylonian medicine was called the Hammurabi Code, inscribed on an 8-foot tall block of black diorite, which I believe is like a feldspar, very hard material, covers doctors' payment and malpractice. Lines 218 to 221 listed below. So here's some of the lines from that code. Is if the doctor has mistreated a man for a severe wound with lances of bronze and has caused the man to die, or has opened an abscess of the eye for a man, has caused the loss of the man's eye, one shall cut off his hands. What's interesting about the code is that most of it deals with bronze scalpels, which I'm going to assume that's why this was used. Why this was used in this set. If a doctor has treated the severe wound of a slave of a poor man with a bronze lances and has caused his death, he shall render slave for slave. If he has opened his abscess with a bronze lances and has made him lose eye, he shall pay money, half his price. And the final one here is, if a doctor has cured the shattered limb of a gentleman or has cured the diseased bowel, the patient shall give 5 shekels of silver to the doctor. So I thought it was kind of interesting. One thing that I read was here that if a physician were to sight a pig on his way to see a patient, the kind of pig would be an indication as to the patient's outcome. The writer put forth that spotting a black pig was a sign of extreme condition or certain death, while a white pig was a sign of a likely recovery, offering explanations for other colors as well. Well, that sucks. That sucks. God, I help you that your doctor sees a black pig on the way to work, and this dude, you're gonna die. I saw a black pig. So I thought this was cool. The garamycin is a retail name for gentamicin, which is an antibiotic. So back in the day, companies used to put out stuff like this, and just like today, I'm sure, these companies put out, do similar things, probably a little less brutal. Even I have some vinyl that are put out by like antibiotic companies, and like Songs of America by so and so, this company. So it's kind of cool, kind of weird. This is these two are probably the most interesting for trepanation, which, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's essentially drilling a hole or cutting a hole into your head, into your skull. This is called a TEMU, or I think it's called the TAMU. This is pretty. I don't know. I saw some pictures of some that were really ornate. They had gods on them, and they were gold and had some jewels on them. But the 2 birds here, I don't know what that means, but this may have been even too ornate for a device you would use, because they used it for not just trepanation, but disemboweling animals and anything that they needed to cut with. But the success rate of trepanation in Peru was like 75%, which is pretty crazy high, because they were doing that in the Civil War as well, and the success rate was like 40%. Now, the Civil War, it was battle, it was dirty, it was mucky, and close quarters, and it was nasty. So and you were almost guaranteed infection. Almost guaranteed. I think there was like a 97% chance if you got shot with a bullet, you were going to get a severe infection. Which, obviously when you get shot with the bullet, you have a high chance to get infection. But like, doctors would go in and, like, if you had a blood clot, they would stick their dirty hands right in and pull it out, stuff like that. So, but they did use it for, so like now, and going back the past couple hundred years, it's a lot of it is spiritual. The trepanation, they surely did, but they did use it for relief of swelling, and they knew not to penetrate the derma around the brain, which helps not kill you and get infection. So pretty cool stuff, pretty advanced. This is actually this device is the symbol of luck in modern day Peru, so that's pretty cool. This is 18th century trepanation drill. If you're into the Beatles, you might know that the Beatles, I think John Lennon tried to convince Paul and Linda McCartney to get trepanation, because I think in the 60s it started to become a little bit more popular again, but it was for spiritual reasons, like drilling the hole will release will relieve depression, will increase or decrease or increase the blood volume in your head, which will make it just garbage. It's not true. So it's a good thing that it's fallen out of favor, and I know there are still some people that do it who are out of their minds, and even it's kind of crossed over into like the BME stuff, the body not BME, just body modification stuff. I just always think of the BME Zine. But trepanation is like one of the oldest medical practices there is, drilling a hole into your head. So kind of cool stuff. I thought it was neat. The person who had it, they had got it from the dentist who passed away. They sold it to me really cheap because it was too gross for them. I'm not really into medical devices, but I'm not into them. I would like to own more. I know that stuff gets expensive. The only other device I could think of that I would like to own would be, I don't think they exist, would be like a Witchfinder General spring-loaded needle, which Witchfinder General, I don't know how abundant they were, but they existed as, just like the name sounds, they were a witchfinder. They were tasked and they were paid, I think they were paid by the witch that they found, and this was in England in the 1500s or so, I think. So they were incentivized to find witches, and one of the things that they would do in the Witchfinder, I think the big one was a guy named Hopkins, and I think they made a movie, or they did make a movie, I think in the 70s with Vincent Price, called Witchfinder General. There's also that band in the 70s, Witchfinder General, which is like a pre-doom metal type thing. But the one of the things a Witchfinder General would do would throw you into a river or something with rocks on you. And if you drown, you weren't a witch. But if you didn't drown, you were a witch, and they'd kill you anyways. So, not a good time to be a witch. And but the device, he was a spring-loaded device, and I can't recall. He would poke you with it, and if you didn't feel the pain, you were a witch. But the thing is, he had control over it, so he would pull it back so you wouldn't feel the pain, and you were a witch and he could get paid. So really brutal, really sick, disgusting stuff. There's a really good book, and if anybody wants it, I have the ebook too. It's called The Big Book of Torture, and it's brutal, it's nasty, but it's a history of torture. And the heart of the book is torture effective, and they use examples since torture existed, or they know that since they've known it exists. Not punishment, not violent punishment, but torture for the purpose of something, and the distinction between that and punishment. So, anyways, enough of that. I feel a relic in here, I think. So, some leather and lumber, 2 packs, guaranteed hit. Sorry, Miracle Mile. I started watching the movie Jack of Trades, or Jack of All Trades, on Netflix about junk wax stuff, and I watched like 10 minutes of it and I shut it off. It seemed, actually, is the hit in here? The hit might be in here. Maybe I'm wrong. These cards just are, I have a high relief, so it felt like a roll. In that movie, it's so contrived and ugh, I couldn't deal with it. There's the scene where he goes back to his house and he finds his collection of old cards, and he pulls out the Griffey Jr. rookie, but it's in one of those like modern top loaders that you would use when you're sending it out to like get graded, which were not around when he supposedly stopped, when he left the collection there. So immediately I was turned off by that type of. All documentaries have a bias. Even the really good ones have some sort of bias in it, which is okay, but I don't. Seeing that was immediately kind of ripped me out of the movie, so I don't think I'll ever get back to it. So Adrian Beltre, Miguel Cabrera, Matt Chapman, Babe Ruth, and Ichiro. I feel like I get almost the same cards in every pack of this. Chris Sale, I like that. Actually, let's do this. So we got Anthony Rizzo. I can go to Chi-Town if you want that. With your trying to put together piles of cards for different teams that people like that I don't want. I need to start reducing my collection really bad. So they're not crazy cards. They're just, there's a lot of commons and semi-stars and some Hall of Fame and stuff like that. But I'm gonna send them out to whoever wants them, and maybe just to fill spots in your collection. So we got Suarez, Chris Sale. Try not to. Jameson Tallon. And our hit is, I've not had a good hit out of this, so I'm really hoping that it's Jake Cave. I tried. You know what? I have not seen a lot of good hits come out of this stuff. So I like the cards enough. I was determined to get something good out of here, but I don't think I'm gonna buy these again. So yeah, that's it. Not much more than that. I was gonna do some video VHS stuff, but I want to do that medical device thing. Anyways, like I said, I had to clean it and clean behind it. So tomorrow, I'm hoping that I will do the Fangoria cards. If mail's supposed to be going out to you, it should be going out. All of it should be going out this week. I think 3 people have mail going out. And yeah, but that's it. So the Fangoria stuff, I'm sorry if that stupid truck is going. Jesus. I wish people would respect the fact that I'm making a YouTube video and not drive, not leave the house, just whatever. So the Fangoria cards, it's probably going to be a long video. The Starlog one was really long, and this is more interesting to me, so I'll probably ramble about it even more. So I'll probably do 2 or 3 parts, and then I don't know. We'll see what else is up for the rest of the week. So yeah, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got your fix of weird medical devices, because Lord knows I did. And like I said, if you want Miracle Mile, if you want Cherry 2000, or if there's any movie that old or new, that anybody's looking for, and if you watch stuff digitally, let me know, and I will probably be able to hook you up, or book too. Any books you guys need, textbooks even. I don't know I'm sure it's not the most legal thing, but whatever. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.